Apple's Worldwide Developer Conference kicks off this afternoon, and Apple will reportedly demo its liquid glass interface redesign with see-through visuals. But not everybody is juiced for Apple's big event, and you can put Engadget's Daniel Cooper in that category. And Monument Valley 3 breaks free from Netflix on July 22nd. It's Monday, June 9th. And here's a quick look at tech in the news this morning from Engadget. Apple's Worldwide Developer Conference gets started today at 1 p.m. Eastern, and the next big UI overhaul, reportedly called Liquid Glass, is ready for its big reveal. According to Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, the upcoming interface redesign will feature sheen and see-through visuals of a glassy surface. More specifically, Apple's new design language will have transparency and shine effects in its toolbars, in-app interfaces, and controls. It may sound like a superficial makeover, but it is rare that Apple makes such a major change to its UI. The last big change for iPhones came from iOS 7, when Apple ditched its iconic skeuomorphism design in favor of a more simplified design that we have today. However, Gurman reported that Apple could be getting liquid glass ready for the eventual 20th anniversary of the iPhone next year. According to Gurman, the upcoming 20th anniversary release of the iPhone will have curved glass sides around the entire phone, even at the edges. On top of that, this special iPhone will have extraordinarily slim bezels and no cutout section in the screen to better match the upcoming redesign. It's not the first time we're hearing about Apple's rumored redesign, which was expected to draw inspiration from the Apple Vision Pro. With this liquid glass design, Apple could unify the look of its interfaces across all of its devices and make it less of a dramatic visual shift when switching between your Vision Pro and iPhone. Well, one person who is not overly excited about this year's WWDC is Engadget's senior editor, Daniel Cooper. Cooper talked about how he used to watch the shows with eager anticipation as to what new goodies would be coming to his Mac across the next year. But in recent years, a lot of the features highlighted either fell into the bucket marked, "Wait, you couldn't do that already?" or the one marked, "Well, that's not a thing I was ever going to use." The loudest rumor is a Vision Pro-inspired UI overhaul to bring the iPhone, iPad, and Mac in line with their youngest sibling. Consistency is a fine thing to aim for, but Apple is reportedly justifying this change by saying it's jarring to switch between platforms. Daniel's concern is that Apple will forget that each of these devices is different and operates in a different way to its stablemates. Now, if a promise is made too often, there is a risk that you'll stop believing it will ever be fulfilled. Apropos of nothing, Apple's going to make the iPad more useful as a productivity tool. Now, the rumors hint the slates will get better multitasking and app window management to make it more Mac-esque. But unless iPad OS gets the sort of radical changes that will make it operate a lot more like Mac OS, nothing will change. And Daniel is doubtful Apple would bring true multitasking to the iPad, lest it eat into Mac sales, not to mention the constraints of its form factor. Now, you can read more about Daniel's apprehensions on WWDC at Engadget.com. Monument Valley 3 is finally coming to more platforms. After being a Netflix exclusive since December, the game will be released on July 22nd for PC, Switch, PS4, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S. Now remember, Switch games are playable on Switch 2, so it should also technically be available on Nintendo's new console. Monument Valley 3 is considered a solid entry in the franchise, with plenty of fresh puzzles that play with perspective. You navigate a character through bizarre mazes and strangely designed levels. Now, these games are partially inspired by artists like M.C. Escher, as the pathways don't necessarily follow the laws of physics. It's a whole lot of fun and sort of plays like a more psychedelic version of the Switch-exclusive Captain Toad treasure tracker. The third entry in the franchise brings in a new gameplay mechanic in the form of a sailboat that freely moves between sections. The vibes are top tier with gorgeous art and a great ambient soundtrack. We don't have a price yet, as Monument Valley 3 was free with a Netflix subscription, but Monument Valley 2 ranged from $5 to $8, depending on the platform. This news comes from Wholesome Direct Livestream, which happens during Summer Game Fest. The announcements are coming in fast and hot from SGF, so stay on top of everything at Engadget.com. Seriously, there's a lot of previews, reviews, and reveals, so check it out. And thanks for listening today. There's more to these stories and more tech news at Engadget.com. This episode featured journalism from Jackson Chen, Daniel Cooper, and Lawrence Bonk, and was voiced and produced from the sound studios of Spoken Layer. Enjoy your day, and I'll be back tomorrow morning with more tech news from Engadget.